frankly speaking, we touched briefly on the economy. Quite honestly speaking, the SG's report detailed our own concerns about the slow growth in our economy and the measures being taken by the government to try to embrace the private sector and induce more relevant and more effective investment in our country. But there wasn't a very detailed discussion on the nuclear issue. There wasn't any discussion at all. Did anyone raise the need for a ballot? It did arise, and we immediately explained that in the ANC we don't vote. And as the SG said, what the tradition is of the ANC is to allow everyone to speak. And if I might just marry two questions together, the way in which one would determine a consensus at the end is when you agree that a particular idea did not have sufficient support and there's no contradiction to that. And nobody raises their hands and says, yes, but I don't agree with you. Then you acknowledge and accept that there is general consensus on the view, and people have been able to persuade each other in the meeting, and that's exactly what happened. On the issue of how do we discuss or tell Frelimo what our legacy is, let me first of all also say that you've been through your own difficulties, and I remember when Frelimo lost in the ballot some of the northern areas, you also had to look very seriously at yourself and introspect as a country what had gone wrong, and this is exactly what we are doing. We're saying that the ANC needs to look very carefully at the pace of our development, the pace of our delivery of services within the development context, and also some of the challenges that people have raised with us, over 15 points that we identified immediately after the 3rd of August election period. One of those was that although people were happy with basic service delivery, they were also now questioning the quality of that service delivery. Is it sufficient? Yes, perhaps, but is it of the best quality? In addition to that, the most urgent issue, top of mind in our country, is jobs. The creation of work for the people, and particularly young graduates, and also the fact that we have to embrace the skills revolution that the AU has taken on board, so that South Africa does move a little bit faster to skill its own people. And in that way, more jobs would become available. Now, in terms of our legacy, we think that we've done quite a great deal to give comfort and support to the people of this country. But what we haven't got in our hands, we've got political liberation, but economic emancipation eludes us somewhat. And that is our biggest challenge, and we all recognize that, and we all believe that that must be the way we move forward very rapidly. Milton, the President is at liberty to leave a venue whenever he wishes. Any of us are. If we have other meetings, we may leave the venue and go and attend to such meetings and come back voluntarily. We did anticipate and wish the President to come back because the discussions were still ongoing. And so, yes, he did come back. And of course, the President closes every single NEC meeting. He makes closing remarks. So he did say a number of things to us, in particular, that he believed that this discussion, although it may have looked to many people, and it says so, as a very robust discussion, some people described it in many different ways, was actually a very good discussion, because it enabled us to look at a number of issues that may have been discussed in corridors, put on the table, dealt with, and we are able to move forward and move on.